Welcome, everyone. I'm Ashley Taylor, Vice Chair of Troutman Pepper. Thank you for coming to today's event in celebration of Black History Month, sponsored by Troutman Pepper's Black Affinity Group. The Black Affinity Group's mission is to create a community for Black professionals that empowers the individual and both supports and amplifies our collective voices. We do this by providing meaningful opportunities for connection, professional development, and promoting individual wellness. To commemorate this year's National Black History Month theme, African Americans in the Arts, we are thrilled to welcome actress Yvette Nicole Brown for a conversation with our very own Troutman Pepper partner, Nicole Edmonds. Nicole is a partner in our corporate practice group and co-leads the Black Affinity Group. Yvette Nicole Brown is an Emmy-nominated actress, writer, producer, and host best known for her series regular roles on the television shows Community, The Mayor, and Drake and Josh. She is also a guest co-host on The View and The Talk. Yvette is a 2020 NAACP Image Award nominee and believes in and devotes her time to philanthropy and civic engagement, and proudly sits on the national boards of Donors Choose, where she is vice chair, Emily's List, and MPTF Next Gen. She recently completed her term on the SAG-AFTRA board. We are thrilled to welcome Yvette to our Troutman Pepper community and look forward to hearing more about her personal story. Thank you, Yvette, for coming.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Yvette, for being here. We're so excited to have you with us today. I just want to extend my own welcome to my fellow Black Affinity Group members who are with us today, to the broader Troutman community, and to the friends of the firm that have joined us and tuned in. We're so grateful that you're spending some time with us today. I want to let you all know that we do have the chat feature enabled, so we welcome your questions for Yvette. We will try to get to as many questions as we can, and happy to have all of you with us today. So I'm going to jump right in with you, Yvette, and get into these questions. I'm so excited to do this. We've been looking forward to this for quite some time.
I'm excited too, Nicole.
Good. So, Yvette, you've enjoyed a long career in the arts and the entertainment industry. I thought it would be wonderful if you could just share a little bit about your background with our audience and sort of tell us how you got to where you are today.
First of all, very happy to be here. This is really an honor. This is funny, guys. I am what you would call a hack. I am not a studied actor or a studied singer. I started in music. I had a record deal when I was in my teens. I don't know if you guys know who New Edition and BBD and Michael Bivins is, but Michael Bivins discovered me as a singer, and I was in a group of collective artists called the East Coast Family, and it was Boyz II Men and ABC, and we did one song. I was on one song on one album and thought that would be my career path. And music just kind of took a right turn in a direction I couldn't go into. And I thought, well, let me just try acting. So I finished college, moved to LA, and started doing commercials. And then it went into sitcoms and it went into movies. So it literally, everything that's happened has been essentially a Forrest Gump moment where I have not planned for it. I have not studied for it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't study. If you want to go to school, you should, for drama or music. I just never did. And I'm just always surprised and shocked that I'm continuing to have opportunities. Like even the call to come and talk to all you wonderful people was like, they want to hear what I have to say. Like it's all a shock. So it started from music, transitioned into commercials and sitcoms, and went on from there. But it's really Forrest Gump.
I love that. I think all the things that have happened to me in my career have been almost by accident. And
Yep.
I think this notion of just being open and receptive to what comes to you, right? You really can't make a wrong decision. When I counsel people, I say, there's no wrong decisions. You just make a decision and go.
Right.
As we said at the top, the theme of this month's Black History Month is African Americans and the arts. And so I wanted to ask you, so most of the folks that are watching and tuned in today are going to be legal professionals, but I wanted to ask you, what could we in the legal field learn from the arts and from the entertainment industry? And why are the arts so important just to our society?
Well, I want to give a fun fact. Before I became an actress, I was a legal secretary.
I love
So
that.
I have a love for the legal profession and a bit of an understanding how contracts work and all that. So I want to say that up front. So we're kind of kindred in here.
I love
Um, I think what you guys could learn is that as important as the bottom line is not everything. What I've found in my negotiations as an actor, because my lawyer that's on my team, we go over my contracts together, and there's always a point where it feels like business affairs doesn't realize that a small concession could lead to that production company having the talent they actually want. But instead, when they're so determined to get this amount, it
Right.
kind of kills the creative side of what it can be. And so I've always been the of the mindset that yes, we should all make enough money to be okay, but we don't have to make all the money. And we don't have to make money to our detriment. I'm a person of faith. This is not going to become one of those types of talks, but I'm a person of faith. And there's a scripture that says the love of money is the root of all evil, not money, the
Right.
love of money.
Right.
And so I feel like sometimes in negotiations, when a lawyer is thinking, about the firm and what the firm needs and the bottom line, they sometimes miss some of the nuances of what would really be great for the greater good of what they're trying to build. So I think that's what I would want them to know. And the second question was why are the arts important?
Yeah. What do performing arts,
Mhm.
physical arts, what does that bring to us in our world as we're just existing?
Well, listen, I'm old enough to remember when we had arts in school. I
Yeah.
remember when we had art class and drama class and band and choir, and I feel like our nation is diminished when those things went away, because what people forget about music and drama is that you're not just learning how to act and how to play music. And when you do music, you have to learn it's counting, it's math, it's all types of things that go into other parts of life. And it's almost like in the Karate Kid when Mr. Miyagi was like wax on, wax off, paint the fence, and he's teaching Daniel about how to block and how to fight, and Daniel doesn't know it. That's what the arts do for all of us, no matter what profession you end up doing. Ultimately, the arts teach you how to paint the fence and how to wax on, wax off, and you're learning things that will help you in every other endeavor without knowing. And it also teaches you teamwork. When
Mhm.
you are in a band, especially if you are in a marching band and you guys are moving and playing and got to dodge each other on the field during the game, all of that are things that will translate into other areas where you have to work together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I feel like once arts went away, we lost a bit of our humanity. We lost a bit of our sense of wonder. As kids, one of the greatest things we do is we play make believe. No matter
Right.
where you are born, no matter where you live, no matter the circumstances of your life, and if you are a Black person of a certain age, it was tough for you. I'm a 70s, 80s Black kid. So and I grew up in the hood of East Cleveland, so we didn't have a lot of things. So being able to dream beyond what you can see outside your window is magical, right?
Yes.
And
Right.
so that is what the arts tells you to do. Dream of a world, imagine something different, draw something that you never thought of, paint something, sing a song. All of that stuff makes our hearts grow as humans. And I
Yeah.
feel like when you lose that, you've lost a little bit of what this was all supposed to be about.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the arts bring us together, right?
Yes.
When you go to experience the theater or you go to a movie or you sit down with your significant other and you're watching TV together, it connects us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, um, I want to talk a little bit about longevity with
Yes.
you in your career. So you are a 20+ year veteran at this point, and you've reinvented yourself a number of times. You've pivoted. Uh, I don't know if you know, but law firms are not known for being the easiest places to.
Really?
No, I mean it's not all like bubbles and giggles around
Yeah.
here. So the question I want to get to and how I want to frame it is the following, which is uh, we see oftentimes with our young legal professionals, they come in the door, they're wide-eyed, and somehow, and this is not unique to Troutman, but being in big law, it can be isolating and lonely for Black folks and anybody from an underrepresented group. sometimes you feel like you just don't see yourself necessarily represented in leadership, and you almost opt out, you opt yourself out and you leave. And part of what we are trying to do at Troutman is to not just make space, but really provide avenues for success for everyone here, right? Like, inclusion is for everybody. That's
Right.
what my friend Tiffany Jordan says. Inclusion is about everybody. But we
Right.
want everybody to have the chance to succeed here. And I'm just interested to hear how you have been able to sustain yourself in the entertainment industry, another industry not known for necessarily being warm and cuddly, right? How have you managed to maintain longevity and to stay in it and to continue to achieve the success that you have?
You know, I think it's the same thing that you guys have. I think with the Black Affinity Group, is that part of the, I love your thesis statement, because your thesis statement is all about creating a community within the community. What I love about being a Black person, if I may say, is
Yes, you
that
can.
we have a sense of culture that and community that transcends the walls of our own home, right? We go out in the world and we call each other brother and sister. I'll
Yes,
tell an anecdote from Joe McHale, great friend of mine. We did community together. You guys all
yeah,
know Joe McHale.
yeah.
The community cast, we were doing something after the Golden Globes one year, and how the Golden Globes work, it's all in one hotel. All the parties are in one hotel complex. So you end up bumping into everybody as everybody's going from party to party, and it's packed, right? It's pre-COVID, so it was packed. So we're all walking together as a cast, going through all this mountain of people, and I see Anthony Mackie, actor Anthony Mackie, in the crowd. And Anthony sees me, and I see Anthony. We're like two little pieces of pepper in the salt. And I nod at Anthony, and Anthony nods back at me. And
Yeah.
we don't even talk beyond the nod through the crowd. And Joel goes, "You know Anthony Mackie?" And I go, "Never met him." And he goes, you just nodded." I said, "That's my brother. Of course I nodded." And
Right.
Joel's mind was blown. I said, you don't nod to people. You don't nod to your people." And
Y'all don't do that?
I don't do that. This is the first time I knew that this was not like culturally for
A universal thing.
No, it wasn't. And so Joe was like, "I've never nodded at someone I don't know in my life." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's Black people. We do that. We see it, because it's the sense of, I see you. First of all, I know how hard it is for you to be here. I know what you have. I don't even have to know you to know that you went through something to get here. And the
Yeah.
fact that you're here, I know that some mornings you get up and you got to steal your energy and get yourself ready to go fight whatever you may have to fight, because there's so many times that you're the only one.
Yes.
So when I see you, and so that sense of community is something that I'm grateful that we have as Black people, because that's the thing that keeps us together. And this is the thing that I want to say to anyone that's watching who's not Black or not in this particular community. It's an inclusive sense of community. We love everybody. So it's not, I see you, Anthony Mackie, but I'm gonna turn my head if I see Charlize Theron. I'll nod as Charlize Theron too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hi, hello. It's just simply letting people know that you see them, and know that this love that we have is for everybody. And if we all could just get into that. And that's the thing, I'm going down another road, forgive me, pull me back if I go too far. When I think of DEI and when I think of diversity, equity, and inclusion, it is not to shut others out. It's just so more people get to play. Can
Yes,
we all
that's
get to
exactly
play?
it. Right. Yeah.
Can everybody get an equal shot at getting to come and play? And can you see how much richer this entire experience is when we all do get to play?
Right. And understand that my success doesn't take anything away from
Not
you,
at all.
right?
Not at all. Not at all. And creating it at a place where people that are often excluded feel supported and encouraged only makes the entire company better. Because if I feel safe, I'm giving you my best ideas, I'm staying late. You know what I mean? Because I feel that it's a safe space. If it's not a safe space, soon as that 5 o'clock hits, I am clocking out and get out of here and going someplace where it is safe. So
Yeah.
better to create the environment in your company, because then you have the great people staying longer and working harder.
And let me actually ask you about that, Yvette. I did want to ask you about this notion of psychological safety. And
Yeah.
I wonder if you you know, this kind of gets to your experiences as a Black woman in Hollywood. I mean, have you had experiences where you have felt a sense of psychological safety and those where you have not? Because I think um, we've all, if you grew up Black, you already know your parents told you you got to be twice as good to get half as much, right?
Half
And
as
so
much. Yep.
I find amongst Black folks and folks from underrepresented groups, we are so afraid to make mistakes. And I mean, there is data to back up this notion that Black women amongst all populations feel the least amount of psychological safety in the corporate world and the places where we work. So can you talk to that a little bit, and when you have felt free in your endeavors, and maybe when you've had to kind of protect yourself more?
Yes, absolutely. I always think of that Malcolm X quote where it says Black women are the most disrespected, unprotected. Like all of that is very true. I think as I've gotten older, I've learned that I have to create my own bubble of safety, and that comes from my girlfriends that I have. I have friends from high school that I'm still friends with, the people that I collect along the way. I make sure that I touch base with them. I have 3 or 4 different group chats with groups of women that I am close to. Some are like my brain trust, some are my kiki group where when we got little jokes and stuff, some of them are looking for love, and we get in there and talk about what text message some dude has sent. But you have to have those places where you can go to when things feel a little bit crazy, right? Insofar as work, yes, there have been a lot of times where I have been, again, the only Black person somewhere. And I never feel like any microaggressions I've experienced have been someone going, I am going to destroy the Black woman. I don't believe that they are trying. I think it's
Right.
because in life, I was born in 1971. So I'm 4 years after Dr. King was assassinated, I came into the world. So we were still in the thick of all of it. And I think that Black people from that time in particular, most of the people on television didn't look like us. Our Barbie dolls, for the most part, didn't look like us. So
Yep.
we spent our entire formative years learning to understand. We saw and had to learn to understand and navigate a world with white people.
Right.
So I feel that Black people of a certain age in particular understand white people very well.
Right.
I do not feel, for the most part, that the majority of white people, especially in my generation, understand Black people to that point, to that level. And so when they are with us for the first time, they are going by the songs they heard about us, the movies they've seen about us, what maybe their parents or grandparents said about us. So they don't have a very clear understanding of how we move, how we live. I mean, there's been a few things recently, even in the news, where Black people have explained how they do life. And there's been, you keep money in your house, or there's, you don't use a credit card when you travel. No, a lot of times we keep cash for certain reasons, but they don't know that
Right.
because they haven't lived it. So anyway, going through all of that, when I end up on a set and I feel like it's unsafe, I understand why. And I just try the best I can to let them know, well, that was a little rough what you said. Now, that wasn't exactly
That wasn't cool.
the kind of thing you could have said to me as a Black woman. And there's always this look, oh my God. And I go, it's okay. Now, wait a minute. We're going to work through it together. It's okay. Let me tell you why. And I'm going to tell you why so that you don't go out and do it again, because I think it will reflect poorly on you. And I love you. And I don't want it to reflect poorly on you because I know you just didn't know.
Right.
Ignorance is not the same as a desire to be ignorant.
Right.
Or a desire to turn a blind eye. You don't know until you know. Now, once you know, now if I didn't told you, wait a minute. Now I told you and you do it again, then I know that now you're making a choice to be that. But I haven't found that a lot in this industry. There's been maybe 2 instances I can say in a 20-year career where I went home like,
no.
Other than that, every day going home has been great.
And I think that's kind of an interesting point too, because I this is no secret. This is my 3rd tour at this firm. I have left twice.
Oh.
Because I took myself out of the race.
Okay.
I said, because I decided I'm not going to make it here. You know what I mean? no one said that to me,
Yeah.
but I filled in the blanks and said, I don't know if I'll make it here. And
Not because
I
of
probably had a way. No, and there was probably a path for me the whole time. But
Mm,
because I made assumptions about what other people were
mm.
thinking, right?
Ooh, that's a
So,
word.
right. So I think that, and that's a word, what you said, which is, um, I caught a snippet of you, doing a podcast with somebody, and you said, nobody's out to get me. And
Right, is that medicine?
I have pasted on my monitor, unclench your jaw, put a smile on your face. No one is out to get you.
Right.
And
That was Amanda Seals. Sorry to interrupt. That was Amanda Seals. And do you remember Amanda's response was nobody?
yeah, that's right. She did.
Right. And my response back to her was, let me reframe it. Somebody may be out to get me, but they're not going to get me.
They're not going to get you.
So
Right.
whichever one works for you. Some people can't get beyond somebody is. But the point is, they won't win.
Yeah.
The weapon may be formed, but it will not prosper. And we do often take ourselves out. And this is not just for the Black folk that are watching. This is for everybody watching.
Everybody.
Everybody watching. We take ourselves out of the running. It all begins here. If you believe,
Yeah.
you're gonna get got, you're gonna get got. If you
That's right.
believe that you can make it and you can climb the mountain, you will climb the mountain. Or you will learn a lesson as you tumble back down. But it's still gonna be gravy. It's still gonna be good. In the end, it's all perspective. How you
Right.
look at it. Sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to.
No, you're good. And I would layer on top of that this notion of like, when I am working with young professionals in their careers, I always say, do not operate out of fear. I operated out of fear for so long in my career, and there was no need for it. I mean, I don't know how many years I took off of my life, but operating from a place of fear just did not serve me well. And I think coming back to this idea of psychological safety and coaching yourself, right? Which is kind of what we're saying, right? If you can kind of coach yourself and say, okay, maybe that didn't seem right, but that doesn't mean that person's out to get you.
Right.
Maybe it's an opportunity for dialogue and education. And I think that's what we're trying to do around here. A lot of is having people get comfortable being uncomfortable, right?
Right.
And
Right.
let's not be people that say we don't see color. I really want you to see that I
I
love
need
Black
you to see
people.
color. I need you to
I
see.
need you to see who I am, because I bring all of that identity with me into the room. But like, let's talk about it. And
Right.
I have some wonderful conversations with my white colleagues with it. You know, they want to understand and they want to ask questions, but they're scared to ask everybody else. But they'll ask me, and that's fine. So I would say to young folks, like, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
And if you have failures, are all part of the process.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a place we can go to next, right? It's like, you know, failure happens to everybody along their journeys. And how has failure factored into your career, and how have you used it to your benefit?
Well, listen, if you're an actor, failure is a daily experience, because auditions, you are going to not get most of the auditions you go for. And I remember when I first started acting, I would be devastated when I would go in and I'm like, I gave it to him. I gave it, and the call was like, well, we're going to go another way. And so I changed my mindset and started to tell myself, it's going to take 100 no's to get a yes. So once I took the weight of the no off, I was able to relax and count my no's. Oh, there's 57. I'm almost there, right? Again, it starts here. It's a mind shift. It's a way of telling yourself that you're in the running, and your opportunity may not come at the same time someone else's opportunity comes, but that doesn't mean that your blessing is not 3 more steps down the road. And I think it's important to, in thinking of you taking yourself out, my way of saying that would be, I will shift a lane, right? The reason I'm able to have talk show host, show player, voiceover artist, commercial artist, whatever on my resume is because as soon as something, I hit a roadblock or a detour, or the traffic piles up in a lane, I will shift to another. I'll go, oh, they don't want me on television right now. Let me see if I can get a film role. Let me see if I can bounce over and do some cartoons. I'm going to go to New York, which I just did. And I'm going to do a Broadway workshop for a few weeks while everybody sorts out this, post-strike, whatever. So you
Yeah.
have to be nimble in your career, but don't be nimble because you think someone's out to get you.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, most of the things that we decide on a daily basis, if you wake up and go, oh, I got to do this, this, and this, it's going to be a horrible day. Guess what you're going to have? A horrible day.
Right.
Because you have already told yourself that you have chosen to focus on everything that could go wrong. So when you put your coffee in, you put your Splenda instead of your sugar, and you got that you can taste the Splenda. Oh, doggone it, I can taste the Splenda. So now you didn't rack that up. You get in your car and you hit a bit of traffic. Oh, doggone it. And so everything you see that day is going to be drudgery and hard because you decided that it's
Mm.
going to be. So if you take a job and you look at the makeup of the people there and go, oh, Troutman's going to be rough. Guess what? Troutman's going to be rough. But if
Mm.
you go in and say, oh, I see opportunities here because they don't have this set up here. If I get in here and work with Ashley, I can make, you see what I'm saying? Your mind, you change how you see your opportunities, and you also change the trajectory of other people when you expect good. There's an anecdote. I need to figure out where I heard this or who said this. I believe, I know my dad told me this. My dad is a very wise man. He has, I'm his caregiver and he has dementia now, but there are still glimmers that come out of the man that he used to be.
Hmm.
And when he was fully in his right mind, my dad said to me once, he said, there are two guys standing in the middle of a road. A man walks up and he says, hey, I'm moving to the town down the street. What kind of people will I find there? Where I came from before, it was horrible people. They stab you in the back, they steal your rake. I'm making up stuff now. They were just horrible people in this town I came from. What's it like up there? And the guy says, oh, hate to tell you, you're gonna find exactly that there. The guy said, doggone it. And he went up anyway. Next guy walks up, he says, hey guys, what's happening in that town? I'm moving to that town up there. Where I came from before was great people. The neighbors would bring your mail in and everybody was lovely. What's it like up there? Guy said, hey, wonderful to tell you, you're gonna find exactly that down there. And
Mm.
he walks away. The friend says to the friend, what if I even told the two people? One is going to be horrible and one is going to be great. And the guy said, they're going to get exactly what they expect.
No
And
matter.
that is life.
Yeah, that is life.
That is life. And so as long as I don't know what my day is going to be, how about I decide it's going to be good?
Yeah.
It's all the same. I'm
But
making a
the
choice
same.
in the morning.
And that, you know, understand there's those detours that you get sent on because the thing didn't turn out the way you thought it would, and you
Yep.
thought it was the worst thing, and then you're like, oh well, look how that just turned
Absolutely.
stuff around. Like, right? No mistakes, you know, no
None.
failures. You can't make a wrong choice, is how
Nope.
I feel.
And
Right?
that's true. That's true in every area. Like I even do this. This is something you guys can use too. When I hit traffic or someone cuts me off and I can't get off on an exit or I can't merge, I tell myself, had I merged, there would have been an accident.
Right.
Had I
You got
merged, I
saved.
would have, I just got saved. And
Right.
so when you change your mindset, you are no longer angry at the person that doesn't let you in. You can wave and go, thank you. Because apparently I wasn't supposed to get off. I thought I was supposed to get off on that exit, but something that wouldn't have been good for me
Yeah.
would have been down that exit.
And that's just sort of like a mindset that I think comes with maturity in life
Absolutely.
and being receptive to what comes to you. And, you know, the wisdom of those of us born in the 70s with a little bit of gray hair, right, is you can look back at life and say, oh, I see how it all worked out.
Absolutely. And it's with a little bit of life, you can always look back. Like you can look back on somebody you used to like who you thought was great and you didn't get to date them, and then you find out, thank you for it not working out. Or
Dodge
job.
the bullet.
Come on, that's a word. Or a job you didn't take and you look and you go, oh, if I would have worked there, I never would have met this person. You can always see it with a little bit of time.
Yeah,
You know, I tell them I have a wonderful god baby, just turned 18. She's excelling at college. And I tell her, baby, just live a little longer. Just live a little longer. And you're
it's
going to
be all right.
It'll be all right. You'll see why that breakup happened or why you didn't get that class or why, whatever it is, there's always a reason and it's always for your good.
That's true.
Mhm.
I want to pivot a little bit and switch gears and ask you about kindness and what I like to call how to human.
Ooh,
You call yourself a champion of kindness. Can you tell us what you mean by that?
I think that I am my brother and sister's keeper, and not just my Black brothers and sisters. I'm talking about the community of humanity. I really do believe that I'm one of the helpers. And I remember when I was a kid, Mr. Rogers would always say, when something goes wrong, look for one of the helpers. And I've always felt in my life, when I was a kid, I heard that and go, that would be great to be a helper. And then my entire life has been about trying to find ways to be a helper. And so it's to such an extent now that when I go to a set or any job that I have, I'm not there for the glory of being an actress on a job. That's nice. And thank you, Lord, for the opportunity. But I get on set and go, what's my assignment here? And I
Mm.
almost instantly can find the person or the situation or the circumstance that I am supposed to be there as a respite for. I'm supposed to be a soft place for people to land wherever I go. And I do that in the frozen food section at the grocery store. I do that on the sets I work in. I'm doing that in this conversation. It's all about where can I position myself so that if someone needs help, I am there. And this is not coming from a place of ego. I am not saying I am the one. It ain't about me. It's about being used, right? And being available. If there's something that God wants somebody to know, send me. If there's something that God wants done, send me. I live my life with the goal of getting my well done when it's over. And in this industry, my dream has always been to do enough in front of the camera where I can move into full-time philanthropy. The fact that I get to talk to you guys about kindness and talk to you about what it's like as a Black person in this world is because I've achieved enough where I ended up on somebody's radar, where when it was Black History Month and we're going to have a speaker, how about Yvette Nicole Brown?
Right.
So it's not about, look at my dress or my lip gloss. I don't care about none of that stuff. I want to be in position to help. And this is the thing. Kindness is not hard. It's just thinking of other people.
And I don't mean to interrupt you, but I find it really is true that you get so much more
Oof,
from others
helping others. Yeah.
when you are kind and you put kindness out there. I firmly believe in the notion of empathetic leadership.
Yes.
I hope that the young people that I work with would validate that that is true. And the way that I approach my work is to, I think it's so important to do little things like maybe you actually put the person's name in the email. Hi, Nicole. Hope you're doing well, right? Would really appreciate it if you do this thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Instead of, can you do this?
Or, hi, Nicole, how you doing? How about we start with how you doing?
Yeah, right?
Hey, how'd you sleep?
Because we can get so transactional, right? Especially in what we do, we can get so transactional and we can start to treat each other like we are just these resources, right?
Yeah.
Almost commodities.
I think people forget that when we leave here, we take nothing.
Mm.
I remember when a woman that was like my grandmother was passing when I was in college. She was in hospice. And I went to visit. And as I'm walking through the hallway and I'm hearing people talk to the nurses, no one's saying, can you pull my BMW down to the window so I can look at it? Or, hey, pull up my bank balance so I can see how much money I have. These people were facing the end of their lives or very difficult health situations. And they were all saying, is my daughter here yet? Did you hear from my husband? My niece is supposed to come by, or did she call? So if at the end of your life or when you are facing your hardest time, you want your people.
That's right.
Why do you spend your entire life tossing the people to the side to get your things?
Yeah.
None of this stuff. It's wonderful to have nice homes and with jewelry. That's lovely. But what your people?
Well, and I think all of life is about connection. Why are we here?
Why are we here? If not
to connect with each other.
This. And when
Right,
I say
exactly.
your people, not just the people in your house or in your sorority or in we're all each other's people. When you're walking through life, in the same way I saw Anthony Mackie and nodded, I saw his humanity. I don't have to know you to see your humanity.
That's right.
One of the things you can do, we're talking about kindness. I'm telling you, this is a foolproof. If you don't know how to be kind, I'm going to tell you how to be kind. If you are out in the world and you see someone wearing something that is unique and different or well put together, tell them, I see you suspenders. Ooh, you done did the fascinator today. We doing the fascinator. I see that pen. Just because the thing is, they were at home putting those suspenders on or adding that little fascinator or putting that little pin, and they might have had a moment where like, oh, I hope this isn't too much. Or I
Uh,
hope I don't get made fun of because I know suspenders aren't in, but I really like these. They had a moment when they did it where they weren't so sure about themselves. And
yeah,
so if they see you in the frozen food section and you say you like their suspenders, you have changed the trajectory of their day. It takes nothing.
absolutely.
I
It takes
compliment
nothing.
I compliment everybody. If I'm in a grocery store and somebody's bagging the mess out of my groceries, I mean, you better go and put them frozen peas on top of that meat to keep that meat cool when I get you go on, Thomas. I see you.
And again, it takes nothing from you to
Nothing.
be kind. And in fact, it's a
Nothing.
gift to yourself in a way to be
Yeah.
kind. It feels
I'm
so
trying to tell you.
good to extend that out,
It's
right?
nothing like seeing people talk about the ability to make a baby smile, which is amazing. But
Mhm.
to make a 75-year-old smile in the grocery store,
Yeah.
or to make a 35-year-old who's got the weight of the world on their shoulders because they got student loan debt and everything else, to make them smile at the gas station, it takes nothing to do it.
Yeah.
I don't see people
Well, I would say
feeling it.
for people who lead, try it. Try it with the people you lead, right? You will be amazed at what people, I'm always amazed at what young folks will do for me if I ask them to, but I think it's because they feel like I see them. Kindness is a way to
Absolutely.
see people, right?
Absolutely.
And to say, I see you, I care about you. This is not just about getting the work done, right?
Right. And this is the thing, Nicole. Everybody leads.
That's
The
right.
question is, in what way are you leading?
Right. Right.
People, everything you do, how you do everything, whether you come to work early or late, whether I'm working right now. So when I leave a dressing room, I clean the dressing room. I
Mm,
don't leave garbage everywhere and whatever. I remember my mother said once, um, everyone has a job, right? Like it's someone's job to clean that trailer, but it's not my job to make their job harder.
wow.
So that means if I am in my trailer and I'm taking off the outfit I wore for the scene, it came on a hanger. It
That's
should go
right.
back on a hanger.
Wow.
They shouldn't have to come in and try to figure out where my earrings are. I'm gonna put my earrings right next to the watch they gave me to wear. Like
Mm,
these are little things that show people I am not trying to be a detriment to your forward movement. Because just like I want to get out of here and maybe it'll be quicker for me to get out of here if I just throw my clothes on the floor, you also want to go home.
right.
So maybe I take an extra 3 minutes to hang my clothes up so you can get out of here 3 minutes earlier. So you see
I
people.
love it. I love it. And sort of you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but extending into more into your philanthropy. Can you just sort of tell us about a little bit about your activist work, your
Yes.
philanthropy, what you're doing, how you're using your platform to make a difference?
Nothing would make me happier. So first of all, Donors Choose, you guys. If you don't know what Donors Choose is, it's a organization that helps teachers bring things into their classrooms. Most of you should know that when you're in school, when you see the construction paper on the wall or whatever, a lot of that was paid for by the teacher and they already don't make enough money. So Donors Choose is a way for a teacher to say, I would like to give all of my students Dr. Seuss books and they cost this amount of money. And the donors, which are us, can say, I got $5 on it. Or the donor can say, I'm gonna buy all of them. Here's $200 for all of it. The best thing about it is there's another part of the organization that teaches children gratefulness. So when you do give them the Dr. Seuss books, you end up getting thank you letters back from the class.
Mm. I
And it's
mean, what could be
everything
better?
from, oh my God, it's everything from my first thing I funded years ago were a 64 box of crayons for everyone in this is elementary class. And my thank you letters came in crayon. Dear
Oh,
Miss Brown, thank you so much for the crayon. I was like, I'm in. So I started as a donor and now I'm vice chair. And I try to tell everyone about it. If you go to the site once, you will go to the site forever. They have basic needs. Some of these schools are so low income that the teachers want to have granola bars or warm coats or gloves for their
yeah.
students. So it's really a wonderful organization. So there's that. Also, Motion Picture Television Fund is an organization, MPTF, an organization that takes care of industry members in need. And we just came off this strike and
Yes.
people need rent, they need childcare. And so you can donate to MPTF and MPTF has social workers that will help these people. I'm also in some political organizations. Emily's List is one of them. And you guys can look up that. But the thing for me is that everything that we are given, we're supposed to share. My greatest thing that I do is my high school, Warrensville Heights High School. I've been endowing a scholarship for graduating seniors there for the last 10 years. And I started small. It was like, I think I was given $250 for books for one student when I began. And now I'm able to do many scholarships every year. And that, to me, what I love about that is, again, seeing them. I love that a kid in my hometown is going to buy books at their college, and they're going to get the money to do that from someone they've never met.
Mm-hmm.
I love what that says to them. And the same thing with Donors Choose. What does it say to someone that I care enough about you that I don't have to meet you to want the best for you? I don't have to know you personally to want you to thrive.
Yeah.
I think that changes what you think about yourself, and it changes how you move through life and how you bless others, because you then want to pay it forward. Because if I give somebody something, I don't tell them give it back to me. I say give it to somebody else. When
Right.
you see someone that's in the exact same situation you're in, you take this money or this opportunity or whatever it is that I gave you and you provide it to them.
Yeah.
There's nothing greater. There is no Oscar trophy or anything else that will trump being able to buy some books for a baby going to college.
I love that.
That's my greatest thing. And so I am doing my acting just so my name can be bigger, so that I can do bigger things for others. That's the only reason.
And that's what legacy is about.
Absolutely.
That's what
Absolutely.
legacy is about.
Absolutely.
So my stage manager wants me to move to the quick hits. So we're going to move to the quick hit. Do that. Okay. And we may have some audience questions. I know I have
Absolutely.
one. I'll make sure I get to at least. So
Okay.
quick hits.
Yes.
What is your superpower, Yvette?
We just talked about it. It's the kindness.
Yeah, it is. It is. And next one. What advice would you give your younger self?
To stop being so afraid. Nobody really knows anything, and we take
This
ourselves
is
out.
a universal truth.
They don't. And also most people are so focused on themselves, they're not even looking at you.
This
So it
is
doesn't
a
matter.
universal truth that I
So
have
true.
found is everybody's faking it.
Everybody's
To a certain degree.
So get on in there yourself and go on and fake it till you make it. Don't be afraid. Go for it. If it's a dream, we get one glorious life. Live it. Live
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Let's see. This is a good one. I'm going to take
Okay.
the question from the audience.
Okay, let's do it.
While not a specific question, I would like to take the opportunity to thank Yvette for the light that she shines on caregivers for people with dementia, Alzheimer's. It is such a lonely role, and the fact that she talks about it really makes a difference for people that she doesn't even know.
Thank you. And to ping pong off of that, there's an organization called Caring Across Generations that I'm a part of, that also shines a light on everything caregiving. And there's another organization called the Creative Coalition, and I'm the chair of a commission over there where we're going to try to get the arts to talk more about caregiving, because again, when you hear about it, you can change people's trajectory. And so if we see more caregiving stories in television and film, more people will lean in and know that it's not hard. It's just loving.
Yeah. And
thank you.
I'm saying on that note too, I think this is something that I try to convey, and I never do a really good job of it. Just
Okay.
For folks who I'm getting at the Black community and how we think about our families and our people, and how we take care of our people.
Mm-hmm.
For me as a mother,
mm-hmm.
I can't miss things that happen for my kids. It's very important for me as a mother of Black children. I've got to show up for them and shine a light on them so they get comfortable being in that light. So for me, a nanny's not an option. It's just not something that I'm going to do. My father had dementia. He died about 10 years ago. And I had, I took that on, had young babies at the time, but it was not an option for me to not do that. Right. So I think, it's just something that the way our families operate, and I think this is true of other folks in maybe in Latin American community or Asian community. You have multi-generational households and you have people taking care of lots of people. I think it's just important for us in the workplace to make room for that and to understand that people are more than just the person on the other side of the email, right? Like we're complex and we're taking care of other people. And I think it's a really important role, and one that's not highlighted enough in our society.
Absolutely.
Okay, another question. This is Ashanti in Philly. Do you
Okay.
feel there has or has not been an improvement for Black and people of color writers, actors post the end of the strike?
Well, it's hard to say right now because everything's at a standstill right now. So I can't really say. Now, I will say this, a
Why is
lot
everything at a standstill?
because a lot of the shows that a lot of the pilots that were supposed to air last season got pushed to this season.
Okay.
So there's like almost like a stockpile right now because they saw that the strike might come. So they
Okay.
prepared. So
Ah,
there's not a lot of opportunities. And then a lot of shows got canceled during during the strike, and a lot of them were Black shows. Wonder Years, my show, Act Your Age, got canceled. There's quite a few that got canceled. So Black Lady Sketch Show got canceled during the strike. So I don't, I can't say that it's better right now. And a lot of creators lost their deals. Justin Simeon, who created Dear White People, lost his deal during the strike. I could do a list. So right now, I would say it's not great, but I am keeping hope that it's going to get better. And I think that there's a course correction that we will experience that'll make it better. So thank you, Ashanti.
I have a question from Taylor in Richmond.
Okay.
My mama went to school with Miss Denise Dowes, and I
Oh.
loved your tribute to her after her passing. Can you speak to the other Black women in your life who have helped open doors for you?
First, about Denise Dowes, the first sitcom I ever did was Girlfriends, and she was the script, like the coach over there because she's so brilliant. She carried me through my time on that sitcom. I didn't know anything, and that woman's love and care and talent was amazing. So shout out to Denise Dowes. What a loss. Felicia Rashad is huge in my world. Chip Fields is huge in my world. Her lovely daughter, Kim Fields, is a dear friend and huge in my world. One of the most collaborative, kind, and caring women on the planet is Cree Summer.
Wow.
Allison Faust, who created Act Your Age, the show I did on Bounce last season, amazing. I mean, I could list amazing Black women that have opened doors for me for hours. Again, we see each other, we help each other, and we love all. So that's my quick list of people.
Well, thank you. Who inspires you?
Ooh, who inspires me? Well, my mom, she passed away 2.5 years ago. Mama Fran was amazing. Um, right now, anyone that is finding light in the midst of the darkness we're facing, it seems everywhere in this country right now, inspires me. There's an amazing gospel singer named CeCe Winans, who is probably one of the kindest humans on the planet and also one of the most talented singers on the planet. She inspires me. This talk with you has inspired me, Nicole. Like seeing you and Ashley in the positions that you are at Troutman has touched my heart. So that's been great. Your excellence inspires me. Your desire to help others and be a leader that people can respect inspires me. Your love for your children inspires me. The fact that you can be a woman of substance and have this amazing career, but still be a mother that is there for your children inspires me. So, yeah.
We didn't talk about this in the prep session, but everybody at this firm knows I'm a crier. So you just got me.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but then I'm not sorry.
No. It's a good one. It's a that everybody wants to feel seen, so it feels good to be seen.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Another question in the chat. Let's see. You once said there's a certain musical cadence to sitcom acting. Dan Schneider just hears the music. Can you say more about this insightful connection you noticed?
Yeah, and you know what's funny? It's not just Dan. Great sitcom writers can hear the music. I started in music as a singer, and so in sitcom comedy writing, it's a ba da 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 ba 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 ba. There's a certain way that you say a line when you read it. If they're a good writer, when you read it, you can hear the ba da 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 da. And I worked with the great Gary Marshall, may he rest in peace, on The Odd Couple, with also the great Matthew Perry, who passed away, may he rest in peace. But I remember we were on set, and Gary played Matthew's father in this reboot of The Odd Couple. And there was something where somebody had to walk to the door and open the door. And there was a long discussion about when the person would walk, because Gary said, if you walk to the door while you're saying this word, the joke's not gonna land. That's a really good Gary Marshall. You don't know it. If you know Gary Marshall, you know that's a good Gary Marshall.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely right, because I don't remember who he was talking to at the time, but the person's like, no, I think I could go to the door. He said, I'm telling you. And sure enough, we did it both ways. And when they walked, when Gary told them to walk and open the door on the word, Gary told them to open the door, the crowd went crazy. So there's a certain you can just feel it. And if you can hear it, you will never not land a joke on a sitcom set. You always will get it. And the ones that can write it, that's why they're sticklers. The ones that can write it are sticklers about, no, you have to say that, not the, and yet, because they can hear it. Certain words.
That's specific.
Yeah,
Specific.
it's really specific. It really is.
Oh, how interesting. Well, and that, in the law, words really matter, right?
Yes.
So it's that interesting, right? Because
Absolutely.
you put the wrong word and it can change
their
meaning, right?
I've been on the wrong side of a comma in the wrong place. Trust me.
It's not a good thing.
It's not good. That either or is a problem.
All right. I
saw a question that I wanted to answer. Is that possible?
Okay. Yes, please.
It's from Kaylin Collier. As an ally to the Black community, what can we do better? I love that question, because it's important, Kaylin, to make sure that you listen. If you and don't diminish what the person says. This is the best analogy I can share. I am 5'2". I know my spirit is 6 foot. I'm a Lilliputian of a human. I don't know what it's like to be tall. I will never know what it's like to be tall. I can stand up on any plane without having to duck. I can go through any doorway. Imagine if a tall person said to me, you know, it's really hard on planes. Every time I get on a plane, when it's time to get up, I got to crick my neck before I can get my bag out the overhead. And they were telling me the plight of what it is to be tall. And I said, it can't be that bad. You putting 20 on 10. I don't have any problem on a plane. So I can't imagine that you would.
Without having a problem.
But I've never walked through life as a tall person.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I, as a short person, tell a tall person that what they know to be true can't possibly be true? So it's the same thing when a Black person says, we keep money in our house. Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe you do that. Or, you know, it's difficult when we ride through certain towns at night. Oh, come on. I've never had a problem riding through a town at night. Listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
And trust.
Trust
what you're hearing, and trust the truth of what you're hearing, that when I say this to you, I'm not making that up.
Exactly.
Like this is
I gain nothing by making it up. I'm literally sharing. I have never in my adult life, except in Ireland, walked through an upscale store without being followed.
Wow, yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. It's true.
Well, and I mean, this may say something about my driving, but I've never passed a cop driving and not gotten a little nervous.
Same. Ever. And I'm a 10 and what is it, 10 and 2? I'm a 10 and 2 driver.
Because you're like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen?
What's gonna happen to me?
What's gonna happen if they
That's true.
That's true. That's a true experience.
True.
My husband, if he's out at night and it's late and he drives a nice car, I'm like, what's gonna happen to him in DC?
My fiance, how about this? My fiance the other day said that he wanted to start jogging, but he said, will you jog with me? And I said, baby, just go on a jog. He said, I can't jog in this neighborhood as a Black man.
Yes.
By myself.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, you know what I mean? That's true. It may not be true. Like he could probably do it without getting shot. But the point is, it's true that
chances.
you're taking a chance in certain neighborhoods. And that's true. We're making light of it, but it's true. And so just listen and try to be an anti-racist. It's not enough to just say, I'm not racist. You need to fight against all the systems put in to harm Black people that still exist. And I would
yes and you on that in the law firm environment in particular. And this is for anybody who's got some business to give or running some files. If you really want to be an ally when you are staffing your teams, think about who's not on that team.
Not there.
When you're making policy decisions, think about what voices are not being represented in that room where you're making decisions, right? Like, to me, I'm like, as a Black person in a law firm, I'm like, if you want to be my ally, you give me some work.
Come
Send
on.
something my way. Because
That's right.
that's currency in a law firm is do you have work to do? That's how we
Absolutely.
live and die on, right? So here we go. I've got
Okay.
Linda in Atlanta. We're down about 4 minutes.
Okay.
Linda in
It went
Atlanta.
so fast. It was so
I
fast.
know, I know it, but it's been phenomenal. This
Good.
conversation is great and resonates with me. I think that experience and maturity helps Black women begin to understand their worth and value in ways that we often don't have the confidence or mentorship to help us see early in our career. Going off of that, Caitlin in Atlanta asks, having a mentor or inspiring leader is very important in our industry, and I can imagine equally important in the entertainment world. How important have mentors been to you? You spoke to this a little bit, but maybe, how has that really impacted what you've done?
Mentors have been amazing, but I want to flip it a little bit and say it's also important to be a mentor.
Hello.
What I do in this industry, every time a new crop of young Black actors come in, they get their first show, or I see them doing commercials and I see them out in the world, I go up to them, I said, this is my name, my number, anything. Any questions you have about how this all moves and works, call me.
Yes.
And some of those women, the wonderful Danielle Brooks is one of my little babies. She's now nominated for an Oscar. I had nothing to do with it. But the idea that I know that when she came in as a newbie and she had questions, I sat and talked with that baby. And let's figure it out, and let me tell you what this means. And this, be careful with this person when you're working with them, or this contract. It's important to share. There, you lose nothing. A candle loses nothing by lighting another. There is more than enough to go around. And so if you have information, share information.
Yeah.
So it's not just what can I get from someone, but what can I give? Think of your life as an offering. Think of you as someone that this more than this. Hand out, outstretched to share more than hand in to grab. Can I just say, I know we run out of time, but I want to share an anecdote.
Please.
Keke Palmer, I love Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer and I were on she won an Emmy for hosting Password. We were on Password. And the clue was Titanic. And Keke and I are face to face, and Keke says to me the word rose. Now, the way Keke said rose, I knew the answer was Titanic. I knew it immediately. But if you watch the clip, and it's circulating because it's some Black girl magic on film that you need to see, I am doubting myself. And Keke in the moment, because I'm like, it can't be this easy. Keke in the moment is like, this. And I said, I'm scared. I'm scared, Keke. I'm gonna let you down. Keke's response to me was, you can't, not you can't. You can't. You can't let me down. And in that moment, this Black woman told me, one, I know you got it. So we doing a brain meld right now. You got this. That's first. But second, even if you don't got it, you still won't disappoint me.
That's right.
You don't have it in you to disappoint me. But you need to trust yourself enough to not take yourself out of the running in this moment. Open your mouth and say Titanic.
Right.
You know it.
Right.
And when I said, when you guys watch the clip, when I said Titanic defeated. I was like, Titanic. And it went, ding, 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 and the crowd goes wild. But the point is, I knew it was Titanic when she said it rose the first time. I took myself out. My sister in the moment girded me up and encouraged me to share all that I already had. And the goal is, in this life, no matter what race you are, be that for people. Yeah. Even if it's someone from another race. And also trust yourself. And don't take yourself out.
Don't take yourself out.
Don't take yourself.
You have deposited within you every gift and thing that you need.
That you
get
need
to where you are supposed to go.
Right, where you are supposed to go. Don't worry about where anybody. I am friends with Octavia Spencer. Octavia Spencer has an Oscar and has been nominated I don't know how many times. I don't judge my success in this industry by my friend Octavia Spencer, because if I do, I'm gonna lose. I ain't got no Oscar.
Right.
But I can judge my career by the career I am supposed to have and what I am supposed to do. As vice chair of Donors Choose, that's my Oscar. My name is on the auditorium at my high school. That's my Oscar.
Yes.
Run your race. Run your race and be great, and then share what you get with everybody else.
Yvette, this has been tremendous. I thank so much for being with us today. This has just been incredible. I feel like I'm ready to go out and tackle the world.
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
God
Thank
bless
you,
you. Thanks,
everyone, for tuning
everybody.
in.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.